My fingers have a mind of their own. It's about to go live your best life or spend all your money or it's balancing. Hey, hello, how's it guys? Cassidy here. Welcome to A Girl Named Cassidy if you are new, and hey, if you've been here before. So as you can tell, I'm in a vehicle, which means today's going to be a car confessions. Before we start, I want to get a few things out of the way. I'm very aware that my skin is not looking its best. Like, there are some pimples happening here, so please leave me alone. And next thing, I know in my last car confessions, I got very excited and I was hitting the steering wheel a lot, and you guys may have heard like this sound. I just want to let you know that that was the rock I was balancing my camera on, so I'm sorry, it won't happen again. So I have to start with the fact that both of my parents are extremely well traveled, and in that, when I decided to leave the nest, I decided to move to London, and there's a lot of advice that people give you when you are immigrating. People always ask me like, oh, like what were the words of wisdom that you were given by your parents? And I tell people all the time, it wasn't like live your best life or spend all your money, or like no one told me no one gave me any pearls of wisdom. Instead, and it's just so ridiculous how, like, what they told me. But both my mom and my dad, their pearls of wisdom included this and only this: don't make eye contact with someone on the subway. Both of them, that's all they said. Fine, cool, not like invest in stocks. Don't make eye contact with someone on the subway. So what happens is I'm like doing my thing, I'm living it up there in the UK, and one day I linked up with a friend of mine who was also in the UK at the time on a modeling gig, and we had decided that we were going to obviously meet up. It was late at night and I was on the tube, which is what they call the subway. I was on the underground, and there's this man like looking at me. And I don't know if you guys have like things that you do that so people won't talk to you. Whenever I'm on public transport, I put my headphones in. If I'm playing music or not, like, it doesn't matter. If you see someone with headphones, you know, like, don't talk to them. I have my glasses on and I have my headphones on, so I'm very much, on my forehead is very much written, do not interact with me. And I think I must have taken them off, and in the meanwhile, like in passing, like made eyes with someone. I didn't even realize that this was happening, but I did notice that the tube was like, people were leaving because they were obviously on their way home, and I was on my way out. And every time I check, bro, this guy is still there, and he's just full on, like, his parents didn't tell him not to make eye contact with any strangers. You know when you can feel that someone is you can feel it like here in your trachea, you're like, oh, someone's staring at me. I could feel it. So I'm like, okay, check, this guy's definitely staring at me. And then I do all the things that you do when you think like, why is this person staring at me? Check your teeth. There's nothing like on my face. Cool, I'm lacquer, I'm good, it's fine. I know that I'm good because I know that I'm also on my way to see my mate, so I made sure that like my makeup was done and all of that. People are getting off, and this guy's like staying on. I don't think anything of it. Then I can't remember which station I was at, but it was at like one of the biggest stations, and I had like this really long escalator going up, and so I'm standing there, people are like walking, this guy walks a little bit. I had no idea that this guy had gotten off at the same stop as me. Well, I had an inkling, but I didn't like look back and check, if you know what I mean, so I wasn't 100% sure. Anyway, next thing I know, and bro, it's a massive escalator. You have everywhere to stand. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even like walk and finish and be done walking, and then you're off the escalator. But this guy decided to come right up behind me, and he decided to like have a moment with my neck. I don't know what he thought he was doing. This is my neck, by the way, if you didn't get the visual cue. Is it creepy yet? It was creepy when I felt it, and I was like, and I look behind, and he's still. And so I'm just like, okay, cool. And now I decide, no, I need to be on the walking line. So I get up, I like go into the walking line, and then I like finish, cool. And I don't know, the streets of London just weren't having it for me that day. So I'm trying to like speed walk away from this guy without making a scene. And I just keep getting every red robot And I just like, I will automatically be known as a South African if I decide to jaywalk the streets of London. And I tell you what, hey, every time I walk and I get to a red light, every time. Eventually, I'm at this big stop street, and I don't know what it is. But at the same time, guys, I just want to add, no one is like suspect. Okay, but that's not what I wanted to add. So I get to this like stop street. There is a girl sitting in a wedding dress on the wall, like leaning against the wall, full on proper like bawling. I don't know if she got left at the altar. I don't know if like her cat just died, but all of these would totally validate how hard she was crying. Like the 5-year-old kid in me that had just been sent to my room, or probably gotten out hiding, knew what was coming next. It was that part was definitely coming next in the cry, and I knew it. And so I'm waiting here. The Russian guy I have no idea where he is at this point until I feel it. And now I'm just like, don't even pay any attention. Maybe he'll like go and breathe on the chick in the wedding dress who's crying. Because you're probably also thinking to yourself, but how did you know he was Russian? Like, it's 2020. You can't just assume that someone is Russian. I swear, I'm like, don't pay any attention to this man. At that point, I'm probably going to do such a bad example of the Russian accent, but he's like, do you like to cry? What? Did a Russian man just breathe on my neck copious amounts of times, only for me to get stopped at a red light, for him to breathe on my neck very heavily again, and then ask if I like to cry? I feel like he mistook me for a lady in a wedding dress leaning against a wall who's about to go and then I said no, and then he was like, I like to cry. And then he was like, have you ever cried? And I'm just like, no. And then he's like, would you like to cry together? At that point, I was like, South African in me, take over. Like, I wanted the spirits who had invented like a Windhoek and an Amarula, and I don't know why these are all alcohol, and like Nando's, and like the guy that invented the game 30 Seconds. Like, I wanted them all the South African isms. I wanted the person who said now, yeah, but aware. I wanted that person just to like, and then clearly they felt my pain, because at that point every South Africanism entered my body, and I jaywalked that street so fast. Thank goodness at the time that I like started jaywalking that street, my like Safa friend, which is what the English people called South Africans, my Safa friend was across the road, and he started waving. Oh, it was just so safe. And then I turned around and he was gone. That was a little bit weird. But you know who wasn't gone? The lady in the wedding dress leaning against the wall. And I guarantee you, I thought it was going to happen. She wasn't crying. She was... But back onto the story. Like, he was gone. And like, all seriousness now, like, I joke and I laugh, and it's something really weird and funny that happened to me. But it was so scary. And this is all happening at night, and like, I'm not lying, like, I was petrified when all of this was happening. And I just thought to myself, I was like, I understand now why my parents were like, just don't make eye contact with anyone. I'm going to tell you one thing now, and I'm going to tell you in all honesty. Coming from a third world country, I've never been so grateful at that point in my life, because it has taught me to be vigilant. Well, as vigilant as I know how to be, because there are definitely friends of mine who are watching this that are like, Cassidy, man, you're the least vigilant person. So I know I was grateful at that moment for the fact that I'm not oblivious. I was grateful for that habit I have as a woman, for always checking over my shoulder if someone was there. I was telling you the story because it's really funny now, but in all seriousness, it was one of the scariest moments I've ever had to go through. First of all, thank you so much for watching, and like for staying up to date with me, and for really just, you know, diving in head first into this journey with me. I am still figuring it out, and you guys have been so patient in helping me figure it out as well. And honestly, that means the world to me, that you guys have taken it upon yourself to, you know, to like hand in hand with, of course, gloves and stuff because of COVID. If you like these types of videos, please let me know by giving it a like, as it really supports me, and hit that subscribe button as well. Trust, you will not regret it. I put out great content every Wednesday, and if you'd like me to talk about, or you want to suggest any other videos, I'm really open-minded and would love to hear your ideas. So drop it down in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you know me, I'll be around doing stuff. Cool. Cheers, guys. Bye.